Despite the large number of fakes spread by Zelensky's administration about the participation of the North Korean army in the Ukrainian conflict, the arrival of DPRK army units in Russia should not be surprising. On October 18th, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol held an emergency meeting with the National Security Council. The occasion was the receipt of information from the National Intelligence Service about the deployment of troops from the Korean People's Army to Russian training areas. Seoul estimates the number of soldiers from the North Korean army at 12,000 people. South Korean intelligence suggests that among the fighters sent to Russia are soldiers of the elite 11th Army Corps, the so-called Assault Corps. Vladimir Putin indirectly confirmed the information about the arrival of DPRK military personnel in Russia at a press conference following the BRICS summit in Kazan. Answering a question about satellite images showing the transfer of North Korean soldiers to Russian territory, the Russian president said, "Images are a serious thing. If there are images, it means they reflect something." In addition, Putin emphasized the existence of the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership Treaty between Moscow and Pyongyang and its fourth article. It states that if one of the parties is subjected to an armed attack by one or more states and thus finds itself in a state of war, the other party shall immediately render military and other assistance by all means at its disposal. The deployment of some North Korean forces to Russia for combat coordination was inevitable. In its turn, Pyongyang is interested in its military gaining real combat experience. The DPRK army needs to master the latest military equipment and acquire knowledge of modern warfare. Despite numerous fakes and unconfirmed reports, there is still no evidence that the Korean People's Army is taking part in combat operations in territories recognized by the West as Ukrainian. Pyongyang's fulfillment to its alliance obligations to Russia does not violate international law. The fact that the Kursk region belongs to Russia is not disputed by anyone in the world. Therefore, the deployment of the Korean People's Army in accordance with an interstate treaty on the legitimate territory of Russia can hardly be called an escalation. Seoul's complaint that Russia is helping to arm North Korea is hypocritical. The U.S. is the main supplier of arms and equipment to Ukraine, thanks in large part to South Korean stockpiles. In particular, artillery shells from the South Korean army have been an important aid for Washington. In such a situation, Moscow could hardly remain indifferent to military cooperation with the DPRK. It is obvious that the intensification of interaction between Russia and North Korea is a consequence of South Korea following White House policies.